terrible these thoughts.
Does it have to apply to what we're talking about today?
No.
Not necessarily.
Okay, well, this kind of applies.
Thought about a video I watched. So if we're trying to wind up the time, you want to start it, and then I can do the thought.
So who
Yeah,
wants it?
whatever.
Levi or Jason?
Whoever wants to.
Oh yeah. So I watched in my B383 class. We had to watch a video, and it was I don't know. You guys have probably seen it before, but it's like a Mormon message, and it's Elder Holland. So he goes out in the mountains or whatever with his son, and they're out there for a while all day, and then they go to return back. And I don't know how often you guys have gone out in the middle of nowhere. You find roads that look, two dirt roads look exactly the same. So it was interesting because both him and his son prayed to determine, they should go down the right path or the left path. And they both felt very strongly that they should go down this right path. And so they start driving down this right path, and they just come to just a dead end, basically a dead stop. There's nowhere else to go. And so they kind of like stopped, and obviously they turned around and went the other direction because they figured out that it was the wrong direction. But their thought was, why did we both feel like, this right direction was to go down the right way? And when we went down this path, it wasn't the right way at all. And the interesting thing about it was kind of his perspective. He said, because the Lord told us to go down this path, we drove down this dirt road maybe a few hundred yards before we were able to determine that it wasn't the right direction. And that way, because we were able to successfully determine that this was the wrong way completely, we were able to go back and then travel down the right way with, complete, basically, confidence that this was absolutely the right direction versus driving the road and wondering how long you're going to be driving down it and not quite sure if it's the right path. So I thought that was really interesting as a perspective shift, and I think you can really, at least I can apply it. Maybe even when I get answers, I might be wondering this way, and it might just be to show me that, hey, this isn't the right way, so I can go down the other direction or go a different path with a lot more confidence because I know if it's the right direction now. All right. It was interesting.
Something like that.
Oh yeah, it was really good.
Cool. Let's start.
Sweet. Thank you. Okay. So, question 3. So far, we've learned to evaluate business models of startups. Today, we will examine the business model decisions of a startup in a mature industry. As a group, begin by discussing the following questions. Was the venture capital industry attractive for A16Z to enter in 2009? What was the competition like at the time? What was the typical fate of the new entrants in this industry? Why was this so? And what were the trends in venture capitalist funds this time? So, yeah, that's one question. Okay.
I said no just to the first question in that one because it was like according to the chart, like the exhibit down at the bottom, it was dying. Like there was not as many people going into it. And I said there could be a few different reasons why that was. And let me go to it. One, venture capital is more difficult to raise for outside businesses and therefore are getting put out of business. So like when people have a venture business, it's harder to get into. So the venture capital industry can't fund them as well. And so they just don't do as well. And 2, they're being absorbed by other firms. I mean, it makes sense to me. If there's a lot of venture capital and they figure they can do better with each other, I'd say that's a popular idea. And 3, a monopolistic situation is putting others out of business.
Didn't they also say like 90 or 95% of all the money was coming from like the top 3 venture capital?
Top 5, yeah.
Top 5. Yeah, so I mean, it's very hard to crack that, I would think.
Yeah.
If you look at their funding round, I mean, these guys raised over 3 years. They raised $2.7 billion, and they're little. And that's that's a lot of money. So if you figure
that is a lot of money.
I don't know if I got that much money, I'd probably just quit. Done.
Yeah. Seriously. Your risk didn't pan out the way we hoped it would. I'm sorry. And then just pocket it all.
Yeah, I think it was just like hard to compete. Like you had the like top 5 that were like pretty trustworthy and knew what they were doing and who to invest in and who not to. And so that's hard to compete. Like it's hard to find people that are actually gonna like go far, because if they were, you would think that other people would have already picked them up.
Well, it's interesting too, because you're looking at, you know, if you have venture capitals and they're typically, well, a lot of them are a very experienced group of people, right? So if you're like, hey, I want to start a business, right? And you want like good partners, good people to advise you. You want probably someone that's been around for a while and done some interesting things, so you can have confidence in their ability to through difficult stuff. So for a brand new company to come in with not as much experience, I mean, the people in it, like the GPs, might have the experience. Investors might have experience, but as a company as a whole, they don't have like a proven track record yet. So it'd be harder to have confidence in that company. And also the amount of money they can get out there. I mean, their spread is going to be a lot less diversified. So, I mean, if one thing goes bad for a smaller VC firm or a brand new one, in this case, I mean, it could potentially be like ending. Whereas the bigger ones are, you know, kind of invested in more things, kind of spread out a little bit more. So if one thing goes bad, their whole company isn't going to collapse. They're going to be, you know, okay. I mean, they might lose a lot of money, but they'll be okay.
Yeah. I think it was interesting because in the beginning they were trying to like build a reputation for themselves. Like that was their focus.
Yeah. It was a good focus too, because why do I want to work with you if you don't have a track record? Like who the heck are
Right.
you?
Yeah.
So,
especially with that much money.
So the whole time I'm reading this, I'm thinking about how they're raising money. Like seriously, you can go into venture capitaling with absolutely nothing because you ask people for money to take and give to other people. So like, I mean, right? That's because they're getting funded by people. What?
Yeah, but it's not the money that people are after when they're going to venture capital. It's like you watch Shark Tank, right? You know, like a lot of those deals aren't based on how much money they can get. I mean, they need the money, but a lot of them they go in wanting to work with a specific individual because of their expertise in the industry.
Wait, who is they? Like if you're the investor or the inventor?
No, people who come onto Shark Tank want to work with one of the people.
Yeah.
The inventor, as you would say. So they come in and pitch their idea, and they have an idea of what investor they want, what shark they want to invest in their company.
Yeah, I get that. But what I'm saying is the people who are in the venture capital industry are the ones looking for the people who have those things, right? But the people
not necessarily. Usually it's people come to them and they submit ideas like, hey, we need some funding for this. Like, will you back us? Like you have the experience and connections.
Well, I was doing other research here, and the people in the venture capital industry, they don't have money. They go to people with money, richer than them, like millionaires, billionaires, and then they pitch it to them and say, hey, we have a lot of faith in these people. Will you give us money to give to them? And so what I see with that,
it's all about who you know.
The only thing I see wrong with that is you're gambling with other people's money. I mean, I know it's not a gamble. Like, I do know that. Like, they're actually putting some educated guesses into it and stuff, numbers and plans and, you know, business models and stuff. But it's like, how clueless are the people giving their money?
Not clueless.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the idea
Like
is
usually it's a full-time thing for them.
For the venture capital industry or for the people above them?
Above them, like giving their
Okay.
money as well. They want to be informed and they know what's going to work and what's not, and they can always say no.
Okay.
yeah,
Alrighty.
interesting though. I get what you're saying. Like, I don't think the investors themselves necessarily know every little bit, but that's
Yeah.
why it's important that the venture capital firm have a good track record.
Yeah, I look at it like the same way as E-Trade. You know, you give your, well, not E-Trade, but like another investing firm, like give them your money and then they'll invest it where they want.
More, I mean, with reason. It doesn't sound like they're invested in like too much stuff, but I mean, think of it like a investments or like a stockbroker, right? Like, the reason you go with a stockbroker and you pay them XYZ percentage of all of the returns is because that stockbroker is using your money to invest in stuff. And as long as the investment works, the stockbroker gets, you know, they make money on your gains.
Okay.
So that's why it's important, like when you're looking or shopping for someone to invest your money, or you look at like mutual funds, right? Mutual funds are basically just a diversified portfolio of individual stocks and bonds, and depending on, so you're paying a percentage of the gain on that mutual fund to someone who manages it and makes sure that the mix is good, so you keep getting returns. This would, I think, venture capital, you could look at basically just a higher risk to reward.
Yeah.
Because you look at like someone that invested in, you know, Instagram early on, you know, that's like 100x company. You know, they made 100-fold on their investment on Instagram. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I still, okay. I just didn't, like, just looking it up, I just didn't know how involved the investors really were. I mean, that's what we're talking about here, like the, why there's so many fewer venture capital industry people now is probably just because, you know, when they have one failure, like I said in the case study, it really ruins them a lot by having one failure.
Right. I feel like that's the way a lot of things are too. Like,
Yeah.
smaller companies come out, get bought up by like huge companies. Like in my class, we did the Dollar Shave Club. So like Dollar Club, you know, they're a small company. They buy razors. You can actually buy razors from the same company directly off Amazon. If you buy them like $100 at a time, you can save yourself a couple bucks. But same exact razor, literally.
Yeah.
But Dollar Shave Club was bought by Unilever after that. You know, for some retarded amount of money. Seriously though, I feel like it just kind of all conglomerates into one big thing.
Yeah.
These days, anyway.
No.
Yeah.
About that tangent, everybody.
That's the point of having a group discussion, though, so we can go on tangents and hopefully, like, kind of make the idea somewhere.
Yeah. But no, it did help me figure out that it's a lot like an investment trust or mutual fund. That's a good way of looking at it.
All right, question 2. With all the entrenched incumbents and catch-22s, what silver lining did A16Z see? How did they plan to succeed in this difficult environment?
Did you guys prepare these questions or the other group of questions?
This is just questions to discuss as like a group.
Yeah, it's just group talk.
Okay. Because the second question on to prepare was to succeed in the VC, you have to have these 3 things: source, pick, and win and stuff. But
So this is technically number 3, bullet 2 on the
Yeah.
Andreessen Horowitz case discussion.
Catch 22.
So did everybody understand the question?
Not entirely, no.
Does everybody know what a
So-
catch 22 is? So a catch 22 is like you need money to make money, right? But if you don't have any money, you can't make money. But if you can't make money, you can't have money to make money. So it's a system that won't let you in.
So what is
In
it?
one of the beginning entrepreneurship classes, they talked about OPM. They're like, yeah, and OPM is other people's money. That's how you make money.
That's the guy we're talking about.
So with all the entrenched incumbents, so the entrenched incumbents are basically the other VC firms and catch 22. So like you said, it takes money to make money. Like you have to do this, but there's a lot of risk involved. What was the upside, or what upside did A16Z see? How did they plan to succeed in this difficult environment? So what did they see that was like good? Why did they think they could succeed even though it was difficult?
Well, I think they chose a market that nobody wanted to focus on because they focused more on tech startups than just like other businesses. Because all the other VC firms didn't want to invest in technology, especially for internet startups like Facebook or like Instagram. So I think A16Z took advantage of that, and because they saw the potential, and that's kind of what they were good at, because they were both CEOs, or they both worked at an internet firm. So I think that's kind of why they focused on that segment and just kind of help them move forward from there.
So basically, they're going after the underserved market segment, and
Yeah,
they are experienced in that space. It's a good one. I like it.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that they basically, because they're going after that market, they gave a lot of assistance to that. If you looked at like the number of GPs in some of the other VC firms and the number of like technical assistants and specialists and stuff, I don't know if you guys looked at the
Yeah, it was
chart.
like a lot more. They had like 28 or something.
It was
Yes, 43.
so like
40, yeah.
they had 43. The other company, the largest one on the other companies was 6.
Oh, wow.
So they had 9 investment advisors, 43 functional specialists, 14 other investment professionals, and then only 8 GPs. So basically, they made it so that they could actually work with all the companies they were bringing on and investing in. It seems like to me, because they could basically be like, hey, you need help with this? Okay, great. We have a specialist to talk to you about that.
Mm-hmm.
He's number 37, and he's available. I think that would be one of the big things. Like, you can call him like whenever you need help, and he will be there for you. Because we have $100 million in the company.
Yeah, I think their approach to everything was so different, and they made it seem like they wanted to be looking from the shoes of the person starting up the company, like what would they want. And I think that's why it drew so many people to them, because they felt like, yeah, you're a company that understands where I'm coming from and we can work together.
Yeah, I mean, they specifically talk about how they wanted to treat them with respect, and even put a fine out there for if they were late for meetings at $10 per minute. And they just treated them, like you said, how they wanted to be treated. And I think if you're treating people the way you want to be treated, I think you'll get a lot further than the other way around.
Yeah.
And I think they focused on that.
Yeah, and I liked that they also wanted to leave them as CEOs. I liked that in the past it felt like they had bad experiences with venture capitalists saying, okay, well, when are you going to get a real CEO?
Yeah,
They realized the potential in these people and tried to build it with them.
He said it knocked the wind out of him, but I wasn't too clear if he thought that was a good idea or a bad idea.
I think it was like an insult mostly. Like he thought he came up with an idea and he was running the company and they wanted someone else to run it.
Well, I remember, I can't remember where that is now, but like it was saying afterwards, like CEOs, like when you hire another CEO, they understand so much more than the people actually founding it. Like they've been CEOs at other companies and stuff.
Yeah,
So I couldn't tell if he was
that
saying,
too.
yeah. But I can't tell if he was like,
also
oh,
had a-
took the wind out of me, like I'm so dumb.
Yeah, they also had a chart though that like the founding CEOs were in
Mhm.
their CEO role for a really long time, and they basically had a list of very successful companies.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean-
It was like Amazon and Apple and Dell and all
It
that
was like,
stuff.
yeah, Google,
Yeah, some big names.
Facebook, yeah.
Okay.
I know I bring up Friendster a lot because I did a study recently, but basically that's what they did. They went in and they replaced the CEO of the company, and they had like 6 CEOs in 6 years. And then they died. Because like if you think about like a founder they have a specific vision and like a direction they want to take things for anything. You know, if like I come up with a company, I obviously have a vision for it.
Yeah, like a
Just bring-
passion for it to do well. Yeah.
Right. I mean, and if it's the hard part, I think, especially in like the technology industry, is you really have to have a passion and a vision for it. Because the guys that are starting stuff, it's new stuff. It hasn't been done before. So while the CEO might be, generally a better manager, he's not going to have the same direction and the same vision you are, because this is your idea. This is your, this is your vision. And if they take you out, then how are you actually invested? You don't even get to make, big changes anymore or anything. But that's the whole point, I think, for a lot of entrepreneurs. And I don't think you go into being an entrepreneur because you want to spend 80 hours a week, make a crap ton of money, but work for someone else. I think the point is to do what you want to do, how you want to do it, and theoretically succeed, but at the same time fail too if that's what you have to do to learn.
Yeah.
It's just a different mentality. In my opinion.
Oh yeah. Can I just ask you guys real quick? What was your hypothesis? Hypothesize?
I thought it was
You always
better.
ask that at the beginning.
What?
You always ask
What?
that at the beginning.
I know.
I thought it was better for them to stick with like the segment, not like a region. Like I thought it was better for them to stick with like this segment of the market.
What they're good at,
I said geographic.
Yeah, what they know, what they've done in the past.
what they've got a proven track record with. Yeah.
Yeah.
I said geographic.
Me too.
I said stay the same.
What did you say, Jason?
Stay the same. Stay in the same sector, or just wait a while before they expand.
Yeah, you said don't. That was my alternative. Let's see.
So next question.
Yeah.
Yeah, why A16Z specifically targeting first-time technical co-founders? How has the cost of tech startups impacted the venture capital industry? How has it impacted the need for technical co-founders to raise capital? Do these trends apply to other sectors such as life sciences or clean tech? What do you guys think? For the first question.
For the first part, where it says why are they targeting first-time technical co-founders? I think the biggest reason for that is they're trying to find people who aren't doing what other people are already doing. They want someone with like a new mindset and approach to how to do it. So that's why they were trying to target people who are
Yeah, that's what they set out to do. They wanted to
different.
change how things were done. Yeah. They didn't want to stay in the same old, same old.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so I liked when they shared that interview with one guy. They were like talking to him about it, and he's like, well, these are the things I don't like about how people typically are doing it. And he's like, yep, exactly. That's why we want to start it this way.
So with that, since we're talking about tech, so I just did my internship for NCSI. I think I told you guys about it already. And the CEO, the guy who founded it, told me once in an interview, like I was interviewing him for my internship and stuff. He said, we have to hire everyone as young as possible because by the time people get through school and go back and relearn, by the time they graduate with the new stuff that's come out, it's already become obsolete.
What's the company? NCSI?
Network Consulting Service Incorporated.
Okay.
Yeah, not CIS, not NCIS, NCSI.
No. Someone told me they were doing like a software engineering major, and I was like, man, that's rough because like all the stuff you learned is probably going to be like done by the time you finish.
Yep, totally. Especially in computer security.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. All right, so next question. How has the cost of tech startups impacted the venture capital industry? I think it's how has it impacted it? So I think it's basically, I don't know how it's impacted it. I don't really know. Like they have to spend a lot more money up front for a tech, like a tech startup typically, I think, right?
Well, that the old way it was, but how things are changing with cloud-based technology and how you don't have to invest in a bunch of infrastructure. You can go on the had a big meeting at my work, and they talked about how they're wanting to move to a cloud-based technology, and they used Amazon as an example. Mm-hmm. And this is one of the presidents of our company. We make millions of dollars a year, and he's saying Amazon's going to rule the world soon. That's how confident he was in what they're doing. And a lot of the tech companies are going to a cloud-based platform to where that cost is distributed across not just our company, but a lot of companies now, right? And so that cost is not going to be as much.
Yeah.
So I think that's changing the game a little bit.
Yeah, that was interesting. Do you remember the Dropbox case? How they had originally purchased storage space from Amazon?
Yeah.
Just this year, they actually designed and built their own storage. They moved all of their users off of Amazon.
Really?
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. They designed their own purpose-built servers and distributed them. So obviously they maintained their network and they kind of moved everything over as they were doing it. But I thought that was interesting just this last year that they took that leap and did it. So Dropbox now has their own cloud
capabilities, huh? Yeah.
Well, they own the cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Amazon has their own stuff now, and now Dropbox has their own. Like, whoa, that's weird.
Oh, you're in there twice.
I got kicked out.
It didn't kick you out. Now it just says two of you.
Well, it kicked me out. I had to get back in.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, there we go.
That was
I
the weirdest
was like,
thing.
Connor joined.
So you guys were talking, and then suddenly it just goes white, and it says, "Oh snap!" So you want to try it? Turn off your internet real quick. It's so funny. It's this little file folder, and it's just going, "Oh snap!" And that's the first thing I said when I saw that. I was like, "Oh snap!" Okay.
So yeah,
I'm done.
Dropbox moved to their own. They designed their own hardware to basically run really lean. They designed it for specifically the code they wrote, the infrastructure and everything. So runs really light and it's specifically for how their stuff works. So interesting. How has it impacted the need for technical capital? You need a lot more of them. You can't have some old venture capitalist that doesn't understand tech do it because he won't understand the value, he won't understand how things actually need to function. Whereas a tech savvy venture capital can kind of get on board with you and understand the costs associated with starting it, in my opinion.
Yeah, and also kind of know what's going to work and what's not. Like, that's not a good idea because now people, want this more than that.
Yeah, I think they could really direct them to some of the major pitfalls and some of the things they might run into.
Mm-hmm.
I think a big part of it is I think that it would be interesting to them.
Jason's gone now. Apparently the internet is just not our friend.
You got curious.
All right.
Did it say, oh, snap?
No, once you got back on, my thing just went blank. I was like, oh, okay. Gotta reconnect.
Who's next? Who's next?
I don't know what happened. I thought you were out there, and then everyone just stopped talking. I was like, oh, okay. So I have no idea what just went on. Are we on a different question now?
No. Okay, so do these trends apply to other sectors such as life sciences or clean tech?
So, hang on. Here's my response here. Okay.
Bueller.
Never mind. I thought I had something ready for that, but I don't.
I think sort of.
Yeah, it's like a mix.
I think yes in probably the clean technology more because you're experimenting essentially with new technology to create a different result or to go about it in a very different way. And I think I think the way they're similar is not necessarily that they're both technology based, but the fact that they both probably require large amounts of capital up front.
Mm-hmm.
The life sciences, I don't really know what they're referring to as life sciences. I don't know.
I think it would depend on the type of science.
What are life sciences?
Yeah.
Like what are life sciences? I don't even know.
Life sciences, it would be like biology.
Like biological stuff. Yeah. So like my friend,
chemistry.
I have a friend, his name's Nelson, and he has successfully grown inside of a living pig. He grew a second heart inside the pig, and it was able to be used as a transplant for humans.
Like a transplant for a person?
Yep.
Yeah. Because our hearts are pretty much the same between pigs and humans.
But he was able to make the pig grow a second heart.
Huh. So lots of money up front. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. What choices do technical founders have for financing that they didn't have a decade before? I think crowdfunding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Got a lot. It's interesting too with Kickstarter because, I mean, really, if you have an idea that you think is really worth it, you can kind of field test it. Almost.
Yeah.
Like you can do crowdfunding as your source of initial investment, but it also either proves or disproves your hypothesis on whether or not people want it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can gauge that by how much people are willing to invest in it.
Yeah, I ran a Kickstarter campaign for a company, and it was like interesting to see their like response from people. Just like it's totally like if you go on all the projects that you can fund, like it's crazy, but I don't know, it's interesting for sure, especially on Kickstarter with it being. It's called a survival belt, and it's run by a company called Slide Belts, where it's like a ratchet belt, so it doesn't have holes, it like ratchets.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was like, so the buckle has like a little knife on it, and it has like a fire starter and stuff, like, and the material was good, like more for outdoors. So it was like a survivalist belt.
Gotcha.
But all their other products were like more of like a men's fashion. So it's more of like a workplace belt. So this is like totally different for them. And it was like interesting to see the people who just like the company, so they still backed it. And even just like all the different projects on Kickstarter, like there's so many different ones. And if they don't have like a good plan in the beginning, no one will back you.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. Pass fail testing. Will they back me on Kickstarter? Will they give me their money? Yes or no?
Yeah, and it's interesting too, because on Kickstarter, you could back a project and they could end up not ever doing it, but you don't get your money back.
That's the risk right there.
Hmm.
Oh, because if they fully fund and they don't end up doing it.
Yeah, like you could like, it could fail during the actual like building process. Like they maybe have a prototype or something, but if they're trying to like make adjustments to it and it ends up failing, the company gets to keep all the money. They don't have to give any of it back to the backers or anything like that.
Really? So what
So
you're
it's like
telling
you're
me
really taking a risk
is that
whether the project's actually going to happen or not.
what you're telling me is that they can make more money with a flop than they could with a success.
Well, yes and no. I mean, you're
If
only going
anybody
to
gets that
get whatever
reference-
you
if
got in the
anybody gets that
beginning.
reference to the producers.
What?
Has anyone here seen the producers? They took that whole scam about getting money from people to make a flop and just keep the money. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, but I mean, like Kickstarter works that way because basically it all goes into like a giant pot of money that then they give to the company to work on the project. And so like they aren't responsible for it because you didn't give your money to the company. You gave it to Kickstarter, who gave it to someone else. So the company doesn't have to pay you back your money because they got it from Kickstarter, not you.
Okay.
Well, I guess
All
that's
right.
probably better to have a really good pitch and convince people that it's, worth the risk.
Yeah, exactly. And some things are like not as big of a deal because you have some projects it's like $20 and you're like, sure. But then other ones, when they ask for a ton, you're like, I don't know. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's see. Number 4, venture capital firms compete on the ability to source, pick, and win. How does A16Z's business model influence these abilities compared to other VC firms? I don't know.
They said somewhere that it's 10% picking and 90% sourcing, or yeah.
I think the answer was delivered in the actual case study. Maybe not. I think their business model allows them to. How does 80s? Sorry, I'm just rereading this to make sure I'm understanding it correctly.
What I understood is that they networked and they worked with other people to using the internet to work with other people, because most of the time venture capital people like to be very private. They like to find the deals, to pick them and keep them to themselves. These guys, they networked and they found a lot more.
Yeah.
Well, I think they teach them how to recruit people, but they don't actually do it for them. I think they give them the resources and they have them do it themselves. That way they're not actually taking over the company. So then it makes them feel like they're still like the owner and CEO. They're not just somebody who wants to invest for their money.
Yeah.
good point. We good on that one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Next bullet. Think of source as the ability to get founders to come in the door seeking money. How does the way A16Z treats its founders differ from the way a traditional VC treats them? Will this increase, decrease, or have no effect on the number of potential deals A16Z sees compared to the competition? What do you guys think?
I definitely think it's different.
Is this talking about hiring a CEO?
No.
This is just how does A16Z treat the people that they're investing in compared to other venture capital?
I think we touched on that, how they are a little bit more respectful and cognizant of who they're dealing with, and they want to treat them how they want to be treated, right?
Yeah.
We talked about how they impose those fines if you're late for meetings, and just how they are more engaged. They try not to be on their phones or on their computers like most of them usually are when they deal with these types of things. And so they just were more involved is what it looked like. And I think it paid off because in the surveys that they gave, they said that 70% of the people would recommend them to other people. That's if you can get a 70% recommendation from other people that you've done business with, and 70% of the people you've done business with recommend you. That's pretty good.
Yeah. That'll definitely help you grow. So.
I found it interesting that one of the things they really really tried to do was not just tell people no and just blow them off. Because I think one of the things they said, I don't know if you guys read the exhibits. One of them, some of them were like gripes, if you will.
Yeah.
And one of them was just the typical venture capital blow off of just not responding anymore. And I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
Where in this one it said, yeah, we're going to tell you why. No, we're not going to invest in you, but now we're going to tell you exactly why. That was right after 10 minutes.
Yeah, I liked how they said if they said no, they told you why. They didn't, like you said, they didn't keep you hanging around wondering why. They told you exactly why.
Right.
Yep, I like that.
Which I think honestly is helpful. That'll help them grow because the people could come back later with an improved version of why they said no.
Yeah.
I mean, if you tell somebody that you're doing it wrong or you're not necessarily wrong, but you're not interested at this time and this is what you're looking for, they may go and tune it and revamp it and come back with a better product, which is a win for me.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas if you blew them off, then they might not come back to you because now you're a jerk.
Yeah.
You didn't respond to them. It doesn't build any loyalty at all. Whereas, giving them specific feedback and saying, this is what you need to fix for us to be willing or able to invest in you. That's more. I feel like it's a lot more encouraging. It's not like they're saying, I don't know.
Well, I think it gives them
if someone kind of feedback, oh yeah, I totally see what you're going for, and I understand you're almost there, but you're not quite. Maybe you need to work on this, this, and this, and maybe come back and talk to us when you worked on some of those kinks, and maybe we'll be able to do it at a later point.
Yeah.
Okay. So it'll increase the potential deals they have now and in the future because they'll have more loyalty, more goodwill built up towards them.
Yeah.
How will this change A16Z begins to fire CEOs because they are not performing well? Will this increase, decrease, or have no effect on the number of potential deals A16Z sees compared to the competition? I think it would decrease their number of deals if everyone hears that they fire CEOs or founders.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean,
Be right back.
I don't even like the idea of hiring other CEOs anyway.
Yeah, it's different.
I think it's all relative too, right? It's how you treat people. So if you're known for bringing in a CEO and then firing them, and you're always looking to make change, is that a good reputation you want?
Well, I think
Yeah.
if you fire a CEO, you're kind of telling them that you disagree with how they're operating, and it just builds barriers, and
Yeah.
it
You
kind of
want
ruins
that
the
direction.
reputation.
Yeah. No, good point. Good point.
Sorry guys, my iPad's about to die.
No, you're fine. Okay. How does the operating team help A16Z source pick? Oh wait, we already did that, didn't we? Oh, it's just a little bit different. Does it increase the odds of getting more high quality deal flow? If so, why? Does it affect A16Z's ability to pick winners? Does it actually have any impact on success? If so, how? If not, why do you think that?
I think it does. I think because they have more researchers basically working on it and they're more specialists, that they
Yeah.
can.
They have
They
so
can-
many different people with different abilities. Yeah.
Different backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it says 10% picking and 90% sourcing. So what? They take a little bit of time to pick the person, and then like they spend 90% of the time sourcing on one founder.
What is the
Sourcing.
when they say sourcing, what do they mean?
So I've got it. Okay, I had it. Oh yeah. Okay, on page 8, and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th full paragraph. To succeed as a venture capitalist, you have to do 3 things really well: source, pick, and win. You have to source the very best deals. High potential ventures whose founders will allow you to invest.
They have researchers that are looking for new companies to approach that have ideas they might like when they're little, so they can get in kind of on the ground floor, if you will.
It's about 90% about sourcing
So it's like
deals and having entrepreneurs choose your firm as a partner.
And they looked at their competition too, didn't they?
Yeah.
So they kind of looked at their peers to see why they didn't do deals, and they asked why. So they kind of put those questions out. Why did they pass up that deal or something like that? Did we make the right call? So they were asking all the right questions.
I remember that.
Okay, next one.
Yeah.
How does it affect A16Z's ability to pick winners? So if they source it correctly, like they find people that actually have good ideas.
Yeah, it was interesting that they focused not on like, oh, there's some flaws to your proposal, as much as, wow, you have a lot of good strengths. So you can work on the flaws and like have the good strengths.
Yeah. I think the question, because this is about the operating team, right? Yeah, so this is about the operating team. So I think one of the big strengths again of whatever the name is, A16Z, is that they have a whole bunch of people there. So I think it actually increases the odds of the companies that they're working with being successful, because they have a bunch more people that those companies have access to. So when they have issues or they have somewhere to turn.
Yeah.
Just money, like some things.
It's like more of a mentor relationship.
Right. You don't need to just throw money at everything. Like they need the expertise, and if they have experts available that you can just talk something through with, then I think that's way more valuable than just, because you could pay a consultant, you could pay an expert, but by paying them, they've already got what they want out of it. I mean, they're getting paid.
Right.
Whereas if you have your investor, they are, intertwined with you, and they're definitely way more interested in you succeeding versus just trying to collect their consulting fee or their hourly wage.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If they can turn your 4X company into a 50X company, they're going to get their investment back based on how much they put into it. So I think it drives the success of the companies a lot higher, a lot better. Okay.
So I feel like that kind of covers, does it actually have an impact on the odds of success? Yes, because they're going to be more successful if the people are putting time into them.
Yeah, definitely. All right, last question. 3 bullets. Put yourself in the shoes of, I don't even know how you pronounce it, and Horowitz.
Andreessen? I don't know.
Is it Andreessen? Andreessen?
A16Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, AH. Those guys. Are there 16 letters between there? No.
I believe so. So it's like A to Z.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
16. 18 letters in all.
So it starts with the A, there's 16 letters between, and then it ends with the Z.
Right.
Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't notice that before. Did it talk about that in the case?
No, I think it's just why it was abbreviated like that. Yeah.
Okay, anyway, sorry.
Hey, my dad just sent me information on Charles Schwab.
What?
I just got an email notification saying my dad sent me information on Charles Schwab, and he was mentioned in our case study about investing. What was it? Not our last one, but two times ago, two case studies ago.
Guy?
Dropbox?
What?
No, it's Dropbox. Wait.
No. It was the last one with the mint and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Take
The Steve Carpenter.
Yeah, my dad and I are going to start trying to invest in stuff like that. So we're
Cool.
going with one of the competitors. Anyway,
Tell us
sorry.
how you're-
Okay.
Put yourself in the shoes. You must decide whether or not to seek to double your assets under management. Vote as a group. The decision must be unanimous. Consider the following as you decide. How many portfolio companies can one general partner reasonably support? Are there any economies of scale in this business? Will you have to hire more operating team people? If so, will the partners actually make more money for doubling their assets, or will all of the additional profits go to hire more people?
Okay, I'll vote for everyone who's voting for doubling. Raise your hand. Not doubling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was easy.
Why
Yeah,
did
I
you
just
guys
think that's like they can't support that many people and still be successful, like trying to mentor all of them and have all the time available. And you're definitely going to have to hire more people.
See?
I think one of
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Steve.
Okay, so I don't remember why I learned this. I don't remember the doctrine behind it, and I don't remember how I learned this either. But in one of my business classes, the teacher said it is very bad juju to make for a business to grow too fast. And I do remember the analogy he used. It's like a tree blooming too fast, but the roots aren't growing, you know, because otherwise it'll just die. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
The roots can't support the top end.
Yeah.
Gotcha. For me, it's that they have such a specific, defined focus. Like their focus is to do a really good job and give every single person that walks through their doors the attention that they really need to be successful. Which I think is they brought up in the case study, where that if they double it, how will that affect the company culture? Like with that many more people, like if they have to double in size all of a sudden, that culture is going to change. And it might not necessarily be good. The second reason I think is because they also mentioned this in the case study, their track record is still not proven. Like, I don't know why you would take a whole bunch of money. Like, yeah, it seems like it's going good, but this is an investment. Like, this is more long-term than however long they've been around. So they need to kind of they don't need to wait necessarily. They just need to have to figure out if it's going to be good or not. Anyway, so Steve, it was unanimous, right?
Yeah.
No doubling, or did you have a different thought on that?
No, I said no doubling.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I just missed it.
So can we find out like what they actually did?
Yeah.
I thought I looked it up and they found out they did.
Did you Google it, Connor?
I'm googling A16Z. What year was this? Was this in 2010, 2029 when they actually were making this decision?
09 and 12.
09 and 12.
Yeah, it was like 2012 basically. What did we find?
I'm not finding it here. Oh wait.
Wait for it.
Nope, that's not it.
Okay.
Maybe I'm not doing the right keywords. Are you looking it up too?
Yeah. Hold on, I'm waiting for Forbes. June 10th, 2016. Andreessen
Yep, that's what I got.
closes 1.5 billion fund B to double down on software eating the world. They just closed. Okay, they just closed their fifth fundraiser basically. So like they have fundraising rounds for money.
Mm-hmm.
In 2016, they just closed their fifth one, and so it's Fund 5, which is $1.5 billion.
Wow.
So, I mean, I don't know if they're bigger, but they just closed another $1.5 billion fundraiser round. They invested in Lyft before. And they just sold off their shares earlier in 2016, apparently.
So they're still running.
Yeah, the firm now employs 125 people. This is of June 10th last year.
Okay.
So I would, they've roughly doubled since 2012.
There we are.
I don't know. So I mean,
Like
they've definitely doubled since 2012. I don't know if that was in
Yeah.
Anyway. So are you guys satisfied with that answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So should we just do? We'll have to just do our like review real fast. The summary.
Okay. So what's our summary?
A summary of your votes and final decision thoughts. Okay. Starting now.
Our vote was not to double.
Unanimous.
Unanimous.
Yep.
Yep.
And
Because
other
of
thoughts
trees.
were we liked how they were doing.
Geographic.
Oh, sorry. You can go ahead.
Sorry, Connor, talk.
Oh no, I said just because of trees. Because we get that reference, but anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, they should not double right now. They should wait until they have a better track record and they kind of figure out how their investments are panning out. And they should expand geographically versus expand in their sectors.
Oh, did we find the answer to that one?
Well,
I think that's still kind of like a.
yeah, they invested in Lyft and things like VMware and stuff like that. So those are all pretty much tech-based companies.
So I was wrong on both accounts.
You said they should expand into different
I said
sectors.
geographically, but not sector. So
No. That's what I'm saying. Geographic is right. So they expand into companies in different geographic locations, but they're still tech-based industries.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Like Lyft is a tech company
Okay.
who just happens to employ people to drive their cars, but
Yeah.
they're a tech
Oh,
company,
okay.
just like Uber.
Gotcha.
VMware is a virtual machine. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think you're right.
Okay, cool. Yay me.
All right. And so other thoughts. We liked that they treated all the people differently. That helped them stand out and build a reputation.
Yeah.
We liked that they had mentors.
Sorry, was that Steve talking? Or
Yeah.
was that Connor?
Not
Steve.
me.
I was just agreeing with Kelly just how they were trying to change how the old mantra of venture capitalist was being put in place. They were trying to change how that process was in place.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
We liked that. We liked that they really wanted them to succeed. So they had like the mentor kind of relationship. A lot of people with different specialties.
Yeah, they built in support for their giving them money.
Yeah. Is there anything else you guys think you want to say?
Yeah,
Good.
that is one comment that I had on, oops. I'm just gonna memorize that. I think it's worth mentioning. Where'd it go?
Is it about trees?
Okay, nope. Okay, fusion power, asteroid mining, and Musk's Hyperloop. Like if you guys look that up, I did. I don't think we're keeping in touch with that with the markets, but what the markets want right now. Just saying, it was bugging me the whole time. Yeah, we're not doing fusion power.
So I don't necessarily think those are like bad things,
No, not at all.
but like for this particular company, that's not their thing. Like
Yes.
this is for people that have, like $100 billion
Yeah.
or $1 trillion or and can afford to lose all of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
We're
not that.
years, we are decades, maybe even centuries away from fusion power.
Sure. I don't know enough about fusion, so.
It's pretty much the
I
same
watched
thing as.
Passing.
Have you seen Iron Man 1? It's that big thing, like his heart, but it's the big version of it. That.
Oh, the arc reactor, yeah.
Yes.
I was
Yes.
gonna say I watched the movie Passengers. That's about all I know about fusion.
Oh yeah.
AKA nothing.
All right.
Anyway.
So are we good?
Okay. Yep.
We're good.
All
Good
right.
job,
Alright.
guys.
So you'll send the link out, Kelly?
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye.